Welcome back to Cyber Sea of Galilee, DSMME, and today we are going to have some thoughts on this quote by St. John Vianney. The saints did not all begin well, but they all ended well. I think that's a beautiful quote because in our world today, we all have many stresses and problems and anxieties, and one of the, I think, most difficult things is when we really worry about someone we love. It could certainly be because they are suffering physically, and what can we really do to help them? It can be because they're suffering, we think, morally. And again, how much control do we have over their own free will and their conscience? And we can give them advice and they may or may not pay attention to it. It may be that they're just suffering psychologically from some deep loneliness or some regret or some sorrow, and maybe we don't even know what it is, but we notice a change in them. And so I think today, with that beautiful quote from St. John Vianney, the saints didn't all begin well. And this really does teach us several things. And one of the things that it does teach us is to continue to believe, continue to have hope. Many times what is required of us, if we are on the end of things that perhaps we have seen some of the problems of this person, maybe they're not physical, maybe there's something, and we've been hurt by them, then what would our call to holiness be in that realm? To forgive them. Have you ever considered that we hold the key to another person's, many times, spiritual health or psychological health just by forgiving them? And if we don't unlock that door and let them back into our hearts and believe in them, then that much more is that person going to become isolated. And just maybe God sent them to us so that they could know the depths of forgiveness. You know, when Christ hung on the cross, Father, forgive them. And then he made up an excuse for us, like it wasn't enough to just beg forgiveness. They don't even know what they're up to, Father. They don't know what they're even doing. And so that touches our very depths of our hearts to say, what is my power in another human soul? And another divine soul, ultimately? What is my power? If I can forgive someone who has offended me or I have perceived it as an offense, then I can once again help that person be free to love. Because again, those things imprison us. And if we release them, not only does that person get released, but we get released. Because as long as we slam that door shut, we're facing a closed door also. So let us really pray today with St. John Vianney and all the saints that wherever we are in this continuum of life heading towards eternity, that we will be able to forgive any offenses against us and even against others. Not that we don't believe that they were offenses and that they were wrong. We are objectively truthful. But perhaps it was done in a moment of weakness or a time of great stress of that person who normally wouldn't have acted that way or said those things. Or perhaps it was ignorance and they didn't even know the truth. And now that they do, they are repenting and they are asking our forgiveness. Whether they ask or not is not the key. We each hold the key. Will we open that door between us and the other person by the gift of forgiveness? And if we do, I think that much more do we become like Christ from the cross. Father, forgive this person because he or she really didn't know what they were doing. Or he or she needs to be free again to be able to love. So let us help one another on this rocky road towards heaven by our forgiveness. Think about it. Signing off from Cyber Sea of Galilee, DSMME on this beautiful day.